It's clear that Yoko Ono has put a great deal of secret um, lines of supply behind the old South's criminal insanity when it came to other people's business. And Chomsky is in on this now. Chomsky, having been told to shut up, dares on the Zuclear line of Ellsberg's last wishes to dare you to say anything about his schmoozing with Epstein and what it could mean. Well, let's get back to the crack aggregator. She funded an assassin who tortured me after their starlet seduced me as a traumatized child. And Bush and Pelosi converted this with the help of Putin and Dugin into the Southern burning cross against white liberalism, protecting our daughters. And Penis, Jason Field, Roger Waters, Putin, the usual gang, went up to Mount Desert Island and said, "We're protecting Leslie Katz. You can't hold it against a man to protect his daughters." They weren't doing anything of the kind. See, everybody has young women. But, notice they just bomb young women when they feel like protecting their daughters. They go out and bomb young women. God help the Israelis. They suffered under COVID, too. But the brainiacs of Israel win on this. That's the whole point. That's weirded out by the squelch system. So Donald Trump and his gang constructed the narrative that I didn't understand the invisible ink that led to John Lennon's death, and that I was abstracted by being rejected as a deaf boy who'd been tortured. So I'm to blame for the murder of John Lennon, Roger Waters announces. He jumps down, holds his peepee, and Whistle edicts Princess Diana whenever he feels mongered into a corner to show why somebody hot-wired me for things that they used to attack prostitutes, the voiceover, full knowing that I had done nothing of the things that they were accusing me of, like armed robbery, rape, and all this other stuff. Palace intrigue about new nuclear Ryback stuff. And Roger Waters takes this snivel-dick approach with Pittsburgh Catholic, where you have the right to snivel. And apparently they hot-wired Ray Geiger the information that I didn't understand why Hines would be killed if he was, which is widely assumed. Nelson Harrison came right out and said he was. And I believe Teresa feels that way. I don't know. I just said I wouldn't know why, unless it was to try to cover up Mount Desert Island, because people were expressing concern. So the logical people to suspect were the inside crowd like Diamond DeGaulle, a friend of Crockett Gregusa, a friend of Kim Kardashian. And all the people that Kim Kardashian is associated with, and Elizabeth Taylor. So the bottom line comes down to the crunch where there's evidence that Reagan killed JFK and staged a fast one in Washington, D.C. He actually had me there for. The only real shooting victim was Brady. To cover it up and give him an ironclad alibi, what the troops would call an airtight plan or a foolproof plan and an airtight alibi. So they used the magicians in warm-up crowd, and they're talking about Jimmy and Bobby and Boy Crazy. Nobody in their right mind would think of anybody but the Neva starlet who was making gruesome Carbonell tapes. This was to pad their dossiers as false constructors. That's what Jaime Carbonell was always arguing. You can't translate. So he takes things of world importance and mistranslate them to prove it. You say, you're the one who wants to try to translate. So I'll give it a go for your sake. And it's absurd. and they piled on with psychiatry and poison and raping. They violated Cersei before they killed her. What's going on with these psychopaths? What's going on with these psychopaths is that they're backed into a corner, so they start conjuring things. They start conjuring Princess Diana now, and they want to pit that against this is what you're getting with Putin and Trump. Is a playing board where people symbolically, somebody off Dugan's daughter. So is that sick? The whole thing is sick. And, everybody has a daughter they don't want corrupted. Well, talk to your daughter. I met the parents. The parents of Leslie Katz used to give me ride homes. These people are bass backwards and up their eyes out, and they're disordered, cockamamie crudes. They have nothing to sell. They're full of it. And they're lying about everything. They say, well, they were hot wiring Lincoln Continentals that they stole, right? They torture me, put a neuroplasm in my head, the hot wire. Ha, 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 look what we got them to do through neuropsychiatry. Look what we got the 10-year-old to do with the Attica State Prison psychiatric extremism. Bernard Wadmaker was from Attica State Prison. Look what we got the foolish little kid to do. And then they hotwire through. We're going to hotwire through blame for Princess Diana. And this is all to punish being against the war in the Ukraine now. I spoke out against the war in the Ukraine, so they started going, who's going to be Cleopatra now, dog ass? Makes me think Cleopatra might be that. Talk about minefields. When are you going to fucking protest minefields? When are you going to protest minefields, Waters?